Perspective. I hate it when I lose my glasses. I mean, how am I expected to find something I'm supposed to see with? And life often feels like a continuous search for true sight. It often feels like every day I have to wake up and walk through the blur, knowing I'm probably reading all the signs wrong but never gaining the courage to ask for directions. Perspective. Have you ever driven for miles convinced that you knew where you were going, only to realize that your intuition is completely flawed, only to learn that your opinion is meaningless when it is only informed by emotion? Perspective. Staring at something you have known your whole life and seeing something you have never seen before. Like falling in love with your best friend, or finding a friend in your parents, learning they are just as human as you. So we all see the world through lens stained by our past, our pale and pragmatic paradigms, largely designed by our parents' grandparents, and as much as we would hate to admit it, we are immensely traditional. We think so many thoughts that we would never dare to challenge. We jump to our own defense the moment we discover that no one holds to our bias. To admit this is one thing, but it is nothing compared to finding a balance between fighting our own subjectivity and finding solace in the solidity of objective truth. Our bias does not negate the possibility of objectivity but upholds it. Perspective. Do you ever wake up on Monday mornings and wish there was a different way to start your day than waking up to the same routine, same old goals, same old ambitions, same old bus to work, same old boss, same old arguments, same old home to come back to, same old family with the same old flaws week after week? And you ever wonder why joy is always so elusive? Maybe a different kind of stimulation would give your life a little more meaning, maybe a little more laughter, or a little more sex, new clothes. Do you ever catch yourself in a moment of genuine happiness wondering what you must have forgotten to worry about? Or questioning whether or not you deserve happiness at all? Ever catch yourself thinking, maybe I'm actually depressed? Or maybe I'm just a little too obsessed with the need to be happy that I forgot that sadness is actually a healthy emotion. It is better to be in the house of mourning than in the house of feasting, a wise man once said. I wish I laughed and played more, a man on his deathbed never said. A man on his deathbed never said. But still, perspective. Seeing the world through partially blind eyes. That's why I hate losing my glasses. Even if they're often so stained I can hardly see a thing. At least I'm convinced that my eyes aren't the problem. It's a blurry world. Opticians are the calmest people in the world. They speak like they're in complete control, like they know exactly how to fix you. But I wonder how clear their view of the world is. I wonder whether they ever feel blind. Imagine having the power to define the lens through which others can look at the world but still being lost in it. I imagine they share similar struggles to pastors. Perspective. What happens on the days when you hold to the faith of the Pharisees, trying to measure up to God's law through your own strength? It's hard to admit you have struggles when everyone expects you to be strong, when you forget that no man can be saved through works of the law, but we have been saved by grace through faith, that no man may boast, that you have been crucified with Christ, and you no longer live, but the life that you live in the body is lived by faith in Him who loves you and gave His life for you. I wonder what it must be like to possess the power to shape the perspective of others, but not be convinced of your own, to prescribe the rule that the world measures themselves against. Did you know that being a man of God means nothing apart from Christ? For many will say to me, Lord, Lord, and I will say to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. Sometimes your entire journey is a short stretch on another surgeon's road, and your man of God may be stuck on the crossroad to hell a few miles away from heaven, pointing you to the cross but never going in. And maybe his entire purpose is to live at the crossroad, patiently waiting for lost travelers to give others directions, because if God can use crooked sticks to draw straight lines, He can use wolves to tend His sheep. Perspective. And maybe depression may be a result of a failure to accept that your role is not to shine, not to be a star, but to be space, to light the torches of others, to protect their flame. And maybe we're expecting a little more than we should with the cards that we've been dealt. Because contentment is a thin line between loving who you are and hating everything you were meant to be. The former will lead you to all happiness. The latter will lead to death. Perspective.